Over now to our online shopping segment. And as we do so, a quick reminder, you can share the link to this event on our YouTube channel and of course on Facebook Live as well. And for any more information on this and other events, follow the Retail Innovation Club LinkedIn page. Well, 3D printing had a major impact on manufacturing processes. Microfactory 3D printing, which allows for small-scale production of three-dimensional items, such as using a digital 3D model, takes it to a whole new level. Well, the next session is also moderated by Michael Wrightboard, and we are joined by Nitsan Kishbalan, founder, CEO, and head of business development of 3D printing fashion jewelry brand Miz.nk or Miz.nk, I'm not sure, you'll correct me. And, and Gal Raz, senior 3D printing AM and CAD expert.
Hi.
Back with you, Michael.
Hi, folks.
Hi.
How are you two today? Nice.
Hi, Michael. Good to be here.
Hi.
This is a very interesting sector. There's been a lot of development in the 3D world. You know, Nitsan, you and I met 3 years ago at Retail Technology Conference in Tel Aviv, and I see that a lot has transpired. I would like to take a look at this sector from the consumer side and from the industrial side, and that's perfect because Gal, you cover both, and Nitsan, you're more on the consumer side, but moving into wearables. So I'd like for this to be an educational session because a lot of us, especially me, do not know a lot about 3D printing and all of the great advantages that it offers. So I'd like to turn it over to both of you to please go through and help us to better understand where the industry is today and where it's going.
Okay, great. So, Nitsan, you will start, yes.
Do you want to introduce yourself or should I start with the presentation?
No, go ahead and start with your presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go over to the presentation.
I see you have something interesting on today, so it must have been a creation of yours.
Oh, just a second. Okay, good. Do you see the presentation now?
Yes.
Good. Yes, what I'm wearing right now, it's one of the new pieces, which is combining a few of the things that you're going to see in the presentation. And I'm going to talk today about Miz.nk, which is a 3D printing fashion jewelry brand that I've founded. Just in a short brief about me. It doesn't move forward. Just a second, my apologies. For some reason, it doesn't work. Technology, in the end, it's always failing. Just a second.
Well, in the meantime, okay, that's good.
Okay, my apologies. I specialized in 3D printing, both the technology, but also the design thing behind it, the R&D, material and processes. And in all of my positions, I always combined the business side, the innovation as well, knowledge, and of course, the 3D printing. And regarding the 3D printing world and design, I was recognized, and it took me by surprise at the beginning because I was recognized both in the fashion world and in the business world, in tech world as well. For example, SolidWorks, which is the leading software for engineering 3D printing, took me and put me in the SolidWorks for entrepreneurship program. Was the first Israeli to be there, and on the other side, I was in Berlin Fashion Week and different types of conferences, as Michael mentioned before. So let's start. We know now that we are in a very interesting time. the last few months we saw it very clearly. But in general, we are in the information revolution. In few ways, it's very similar to the industrial revolution, because it really is changing the way that people live, think, during their daily life. So right now we're in the information revolution, and the 3D printing is actually the physical way that we approach it, that we see it. In the COVID, in the last few months, you could have seen a lot of people that use 3D printing in order to solve things, and it really evolved. But let's talk for a minute for all of the people that doesn't know what exactly is 3D printing, because some people heard about it or saw about it, but most of my customers are actually seeing 3D printing physical objects only when they are meeting me. So it's really nice to me to talk about it, and I love it, but to make sure that everyone understands, 3D printing is a way that when you're taking design or file and you make it into a physical product in layers. Okay, there is a lot of methods, lots of materials, but this is the basic thing of it. And I love this technology, and I use it in order to open my brand, Miz.nk, which is an innovative 3D printing jewelry brand. And I took both the 3D printing and the tech world, and I combined it with the design and fashion world. I'm actually sewing from when I was 5 years old, so it was only natural for me to combine those. The 3D printing world gives us lots of new manufacturing way, new methodology on how to produce a product, for me jewelry, but product in general, and the fashion and the design, of course, that I'm always using the traditional techniques, and both of those worlds give us, of course, exclusive design, but also new business model and very agile way to try. If it's a collection, if it's a prototype, you can try things in a much easier and much faster way that in most of the industries you can. And the 3D printing also have a big side of eco-friendly way to think of things. So it's a big side of it, and it just keeps getting better and better and evolving. So
let's just do, yes. If we could just real fast, can we switch to Gal just for a second? Because I want to bring in some more of the industrial parts of it, and how we can take this technology to the masses.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I think that the opportunity here is very clear because of global warming, because of all those wars between China and US, and of course the virus, the coronavirus right now, and we don't know what will be the next crisis. So we'd like to shorten the supply chain and bring the manufacturing closer to the customer. And I think there's an opportunity here for retailers to actually produce, use the store space to produce parts on demand to customers, to bring customers back to the shop, back from the online environment, instead of waiting for the package to arrive in the post. They can have something that is customized, that is tailored to them, and they can take it in a small mini factory that can be in the retailer shop or in the shopping center. This is something that can be very interesting, and we see those kind of things happening in few areas. The footwear industry is already looking on those opportunity. And there are a few examples with Adidas and New Balance, with tailored shoes, with 3D printed soles for shoes. And it's also a reality today in the dental industry. There's a lot of things that are done in 3D printing already in dental industry, and it's very, very common.
Great. Are there any major advancements in 3D printing in the last few years that you can talk about? And is there any applications for healthcare? Because here we are in a crisis.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of things going on for healthcare with the coronavirus. A lot of people that try to adapt the technology that they use to produce protectors for coronavirus and some other ideas. There's also an opportunity for spare parts because it's very difficult to get today's spare parts that are manufactured far away from the customers. And it's much more easier to manufacture them on demand, very close to the machine. So we see a lot of action around it. And we have to remember that 3D printing is not only the printer itself, it's actually an ecosystem which rely on 3D model or virtual parts that you need to model in 3D. And in an ecosystem that can bring it to the printer and do the post-processing. So there's a lot of activities all around this area trying to lower the pain of producing part in 3D printing and make it more accessible to the mass market.
Great. Nitzan, would you talk a little bit about some of the ideas that you're working on with wearables?
Yes, sure, of course. Well, my dream is to make the jewelry smart, so in real time they will be able to tell the surrounding if someone is under stress, and so people can come and help. This is exactly what we're talking about with the community. The COVID-19 that we saw now made our community and the local areas much stronger. So we understand, all of us, that this is what we need to go for. So regarding what Gal said, with the communities of 3D printing is right now only people that understand technology, but I think that the opportunity here is actually to take it to the masses, to take it to a lot of people in different types of interests, such as we talked yesterday, maybe gardening or lifestyle or fashion or different types of home activities and even toys. I mean, there is, excuse me? Okay, there is a lot of different areas that we can evolve in. And regarding the wearables, it can be really helpful, both to people that live alone at home, for children, for women, for men as well. So this is just in a nutshell.
Right. Gal, have you seen change in the actual printers and the materials that are involved just in the last few years?
Well, that's work in progress, and because we have more attention to 3D printing in the last 3 to 4 years, we see more money coming in and more investment in material and processes. So there's a lot of new material coming in that are more reliable, more medical grade. The process is getting much faster. That's again the example for Adidas. Adidas is using technology from a company called Carbon, which print very fast, so they can print shoes sold in mass, and then they're planning to print, I think, 1 million shoes like this per year in that technology. So the technology is getting faster, cheaper, more reliable, and more close to the customers. We can use it today in a small space with not a lot of knowledge in order to print something, and it's coming more and more close to the 2D printer, to those 2D copier that company use at office for office or people use at home.
Great. Nitzan, we have about a minute left. Do you want to talk about a little bit how the jewelry has improved, or how you've been able to service your customers better in the last year or so?
Yes, sure. The 3D printing allows me to test a lot of different types of collection really fast, and to see if they love it or not. Pretty soon I will go out with a new health, health, but very fashionable way to deal with the whole medical aid that we need to wear all the time. And I think that the challenge now is how you can make it as available as well as I understand 3D printing to most of the people. And I think that this is the challenge, the technology that we're dealing with right now with the 3D printing.
Super, super. Well, thank you both very much for sharing your knowledge with us, and we turn it back over to you folks, and we're on time.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Michael Wright, for
you.
taking us through OmniCommerce, and with that, closing the in-store technology segment. Michael Wright stays with us. Over now to